It's the 24th day of June 2021, a day when the World Rally Championship has finally been kicked off. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV, where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and my sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin. President Uhuru Kenyatta has officially flagged off the 2021 World Rally Championship WRC Safari Rally Kenya at the Kenya International Convention Center grounds. The president flagged off the first 10 rally cars that included 3 Kenyan teams comprising Carl Tundo, Hamza Anwar and Makri Kimathi, as well as 91-year-old 3 times European champion Sibislo Zasada, who becomes the oldest competitor in the history of the World Rally Championship. A car driven by State House Chief of Staff Nzioka Waita and his co-driver Tuta Mionki was also among those flagged off at the spectacular event in which 58 teams are participating. Tiffany Wamboi has this report.
After a 19-year absence from the rally, the much-anticipated World Rally Championship was officially flagged off in Nairobi with much exhilaration at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC. The rally event makes an epic return after its postponement last year due to the coronavirus pandemic. President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the event, accompanied by Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed, FIA Chief Executive Officer Jean Tot, and World Rally Championship Safari Rally CEO Phineas Kimathi, as rally drivers convened at the grounds for the ceremonial flag-off before proceeding to Kasarani for the super special stage. Kenyatta commended the event organizers and all stakeholders for their diligence and hard work that ensured the resumption of the Safari Rally after a 19-year hiatus, saying the event holds a special place in the country's history.
Over the years, the rally maintained its rough and tough reputation. It ensured that we tested both our physical limits on the roads and our innovative strengths in the development of bigger and faster machines.
Kenyatta emphasized that it was because of the Safari Rally's importance to the country's socio-economic growth that in 2013 he gave a pledge to return the rally back to the country and to its position as one of the International Automobile Federation's and World Rally Championship's toughest rallies.
I made a pledge to my fellow citizens that we would bring the Safari Rally back home. And I also promised that I would return the Safari Rally to its position as one of the International Automobile Federation's and the World Rally Championship's toughest rallies.
Earlier, before flagging off the World Rally Championship Safari Rally, President Kenyatta launched the Road Safety Initiative, known as the Safari Rally Action for Road Safety Campaign. The initiative, which has so far provided 6,300 helmets to border riders, is aimed at promoting road safety through education and the provision of protective gear to motorists.
From Nakuru, Flash Tundo and Tim Jessup.
He emphasized the need for citizens to always safeguard their personal safety while on the roads, even as the government fulfills its obligation in enhancing road safety. The 2021 World Rally Championship kicks off in Naivasha on Friday until Sunday, June 27th. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tiffany Wamboi.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that report. Quite exciting indeed. Now, the government spokesman Cyrus Oguna has warned Kenyans of a possible 4th wave of COVID-19 as people keep ignoring the protocol set by the Ministry of Health to safeguard against coronavirus. Oguna has urged them to be vigilant and take all the laid down measures if they want to see the end of the virus. He was speaking in Mombasa today when he witnessed the 4th day of the countrywide COVID-19 sensitization campaign sponsored by the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. A raft of measures has been introduced in Mombasa by the county's COVID-19 sensitization committee, including decongesting the Likoni ferry crossing channel and commuters to use the Liwatoni Bridge, which operates from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. daily. The campaign, which was launched on Monday, is set to end on the 27th of June.
Wale ambao wamepata chanjo ndio watapata maambukizi, manake kupata chanjo haikuzuii kupata maambukizi, ila tu kwamba inapunguza makali ya maambukizi. Lakini pia vile vile ukipata maambukizi licha kuwa umechanjwa, wewe pia unaweza kupitishia mwingine. Kwa hivyo kitu cha msingi ni kutahadhari sote kwa ujumla. Wewe mtoto mdogo, wewe mzee, wewe mnene, mfupi, kila Mkenya lazima achukue tahadhari. Sote tunaelewa kinachoendelea kwa nchi jirani upande wa magharibi, na pia ni watu tunaingiliana na wao sana. Unaona? Kwa hivyo njia ya kuweza kuzuia kwamba tusifikie katika hiyo wave ya 4 ni tufuate maelekezo na maagizo ya serikali. Kwa hivyo jambo kutoka kwangu ni kwamba ni kuwapongeza tu kwa kazi nzuri na muendelee kufanya hivyo ili tuweze kusaidia kadiri uwezo wetu tupunguze maambukizi haya kwa nchi yetu.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has urged political leaders to come together and unite Kenya first. The ODM leader was speaking during the former GEM Member of Parliament Jakoyo Midiwo memorial service at Sitam Valley Road Church in Nairobi. The memorial service brought together a number of high-profile politicians in the country, including the 3 principals of the NASA coalition, that is Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi. Other leaders who mourned Midiwo called on the 3 top leaders of NASA to stay together for the good of the country ahead of the next year's general elections. Family, friends, clergy, and political leaders remembered Jack Midiwo as a fearless and outspoken leader and his exceptional service. Dolly Murigi attended the service and brings us this report.
Former GEM Member of Parliament Jakoyo Midiwo has been eulogized by leaders from various political divides as a brave and straightforward leader who spoke his mind at all times. A memorial service in honor of Midiwo, who passed on June 14th, brought together 3 NASA coalition principals, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and ANC Party leader Musalia Mudavadi, who rooted for unity, while ODM leader Raila Odinga avoided politics and mourned Midiwo.
There's so many intimate things that you've done with Jakoyo. When he came back here, he was in business. Then he told me he wanted to get into politics. He had been involved in politics when he was still a student in the United States. They want to organize, that time first, the Ford Kenya branch in Washington, D.C., which they eventually turned into the NDP branch. Eventually became LDP, and then NAC branch in DC and the United States of America. So after a short period of time, when the elections came, he said he wanted to run. And he went and ran and became a member of GEM constituency.
ANC leader Mudavadi, who was once an ODM member, narrated his encounter with Jakoyo Midiwo when he was alive and the great things he did, calling on leaders to unite and work together for the great prosperity of this nation, but should not forget to uphold trust.
And as we reflect on the way forward, I think it will always be important that we first put our trust in God, because it's through God that everything will become realistic and His wishes shall be. And at the same time, let us work together, let us build bridges, let us pull together, and let us underpin everything we do with trust. And I'm sure good solutions shall be found for the people of Kenya.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka told leaders and Kenyans at large to believe in the Building Bridges initiative as the country waits for the outcome of the court process.
We want to pledge that we will work together. You know, the Bible tells us, I think it's the book of Ephesians, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. We must therefore continue to build the bridges. Let's wait for the outcome of this process now before a bench that has already been mentioned. Let us hope that justice will prevail and the reform process for the good of this country will continue.
Contrary to the two and other leaders, Odinga avoided national politics or current political matters as he paid tribute to Midiwo. His speech was a narration of Midiwo, who was his first cousin, saying the late was not just a politician, but someone who united people from various communities.
I think what is important is for us to come together as the people of Kenya. And we put away our ethnic origins to bring Kenya first.
I want to plead like my colleagues have. This is the time to bring the country together. There will be no other time. If Kenya is not brought together at this time, this year, and we begin to move together as one country under God, it will be very difficult to do it on another day.
Jacoya Midiwo's two widows have known him as a caring husband and a father to the children.
From the first day that we met in 1990 in Washington, D.C., we were an instant attraction. We have treasured memories. You may be gone from our lives, but you will live in our hearts forever.
I will forever be thankful for having such a precious gentleman like him in my life. I will cherish the moments we shared together, however short. In death, I still love him as much. We will miss him more than words can express.
The late former Game Member of Parliament who died from a kidney failure will be buried on Saturday, June 26th at his home in Mabinju, Game constituency in Siaya County. Dolly Mwirigi for Hope TV News Watch.
And it's very hard.
Thank you, Dolly, and our condolences to the family. Now, the Council of Governors has acknowledged a disbursement of 43.5 billion Kenya shillings by the National Treasury, however, adding that the amount is not enough to clear all pending bills and still run the counties effectively. The Council, in a statement to newsrooms by Finance, Planning and Economic Affairs Committee Chair Ndiritu Mureithi, said the amount disbursed comprises 39 billion Kenya shillings as equitable share. He said out of the amount, 3.5 billion is arrears owed to the Nairobi County government, and 8.692 billion Kenya shillings is arrears owed to 16 county governments for the month of March, and 27.052 billion is owed to 47 county governments for April. Governors now want the National Treasury to release funds for May and June amounting to 58 billion Kenya shillings to enable them to facilitate operations in the counties, noting that the delay in disbursement by Treasury led to the county governments owing employees salaries from March to present. Moving on, Kenyans have been cautioned to be wary of counterfeit goods. The AntiCounterfeit Agency today led the commemoration of the World Anti-Counterfeit Day, which is marked on June 24th annually. The event's main aim is to raise global awareness of the need to distinguish between legit and counterfeit products by educating the public on how to differentiate the two and the bad effects of counterfeit products. Velma Moresa, has this story.
Many Kenyans fail to understand the consequences that come from consuming counterfeit materials that lead to health issues and sometimes even death, while embracing the fact that counterfeit products and materials are cheaper than original products. This is according to Anti-Counterfeit Agency Chairperson Flora Mutahi, who spoke during the commemoration of the World Anti-Counterfeit Day on Thursday, 24 June 2021. The agency works to improve food security by swiping out fake brands that produce fake pesticides which affect agriculture.
Combating illicit
Illicit trade and counterfeit goes a long way towards creating an enabling business environment for growth of the manufacturing sector and promoting fair trade practices. And all these are in line with the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030, where our role is very clear. On manufacturing, we protect the manufacturers from counterfeit goods of their brands and, of course, loss of market share. On food security, we fight against agro inputs and fake brands to increase agricultural productivity. Actually, January this year, it was actually on the 1st, our PS, Mr. Weru, wrote to us and said, listen, planting season is coming in March in Usingishu and Trans Nzoia. Can you go and help these people? Because we are tired of complaints later of the crop has failed.
An emphasis on the importance of avoiding counterfeit goods and materials for building constructions, insisting that it is the main reason why most buildings in the country collapse. Kenyans have since been cautioned against counterfeit COVID-19 protective gears, including face masks and sanitizers, as they are not properly designated for protection against the virus.
We cannot fight COVID-19 with counterfeit goods, and we are committed here to stop these kind of deeds. As the frontline government agency is at this war, we have put in place solid measures to combat the vice.
The CEO of AntiCounterfeit Agency, Madam Frida Kaberia, spoke about finding new solutions to curb illicit trade in Kenya by initiating a number of policies and legislative reforms to curb counterfeit in Kenya.
We have initiated a number of policy and legislative reforms to counter these menaces. It is crucial that in these engagements, we establish a collaboration framework with the Nairobi County, being the capital and business hub of this country. The solution to the war against counterfeits is a strong partnership and not a weak one. So let us come together towards the delivery of the Big Four agenda.
According to Nairobi County Commissioner Flora Mworoa, counterfeiting is a crime that has led to a significant threat to national security.
Intelligence reports also indicate that smuggling and contraband trade of sugar from neighboring countries directly fund and sustain the operations of the Al-Shabaab. As leaders are responsible for security and law enforcement matters, you know very well that some of these battles cannot be won by one government agency like the Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Government departments and agencies must work more closely.
According to the CAS for the Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development, David Osiny, statistics show that illicit goods have been selling 7 times more than legal goods, insisting that there is a need for the government and people of Kenya to collaborate in order to curb the menace of counterfeit.
We must speedily and efficiently share real-time intelligence in order to have an effective intelligence-led enforcement that can disrupt illicit threats. My ministry will look at the recommendations outlined in the National Baseline Survey Report on illicit trade to introduce a manufacturing enterprises registration regime.
Velma Mweresa, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Velma. Now, a headmaster at Yanyonge Primary School in Mwingi Central Sub-County in Kitui County left the school in shock and mourning after he took his life inside his office. Kioko Mutie hanged himself, leaving no suicide note inside his office. The 46-year-old is said to have been badly affected by delocalization after he was posted to the school less than a year ago from Makueni, his home county. Despite his said dissatisfaction, teachers and parents said he was an education lover and always arrived at school very early to begin teaching. The area assistant chief Mulinge Wambua, confirming the incident, said the teacher was full of life and didn't have any signs of depression.
Nilipata ripoti ya kwamba kuna mwalimu ambaye amejitia kitanzi ambaye anasomesha shule ya Nyonge Primary School kupitia kwa naibu wa mwalimu. Manake mwenye alianga ni mwalimu mkuu, huyo mwenye alijitia kitanzi. So nimefanya upelelezi nijue ni nini haswa kilimfanya ajitie kitanzi. Lakini bado sijapata ripoti kamilifu ya kuhusu ni nini haswa kilifanya yeye ajitie kitanzi. Lakini tutaendelea na upelelezi na labda tutapata tu ambari tujue ile ilifanya anjitie kitanzi.
Na kazi namna gani hapo?
Mwalimu hajakaa pale shuleni sana, ni alikuja wakati wa delocalization. Nafikiri amemaliza tu tuseme mwaka mmoja, na amekuwa akikaa vizuri na community. Sijawahi pata habari yake kuhusu mambo mabaya. Ni mwalimu mzuri, na hata wale watu ambao tunafanya kazi na wao kule, watu wa community policy na vile elders, sijapata habari yake mbaya. So tumekuwa tukikaa naye vizuri, na siku ya mwisho yenye tulionana naye ni siku ambayo alikuwa anafanyisha mtihani wa KCPE pale Ise Primary School. Hiyo ndio siku ya mwisho yenye tulionana na mwalimu, tukaongea naye, sikusikia jambo libaya.
Sisi tuko na huzuni kwa sababu mwalimu alituacha. Tuomba serikali tutafutie mwalimu mwingine kama huyo, kwa sababu alikuwa ameanza kuinua watoto. Tuko na huzuni mingi kama wazazi wa anyonge.
Let's take our first commercial break. On that note, we have COVID-19 statistics and much more news coming up, so keep it Hope TV.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana au?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana.
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi ona Qur'ani? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambaye mwanakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani.
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Looking at COVID-19 numbers today, 741 people have tested positive from a sample size of 6,955 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now at 10.7%. Total confirmed positive cases are now 181,239, and cumulative tests so far conducted are 1,926,973. Fortunately, 99 patients have recovered from COVID-19, 52 from the home-based and isolation care program, while 47 are from various health facilities. Total recoveries are now 123,462. Sadly, 24 patients have succumbed to the disease, all of them being late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits on diverse dates in the months of March, April, May, and June. The cumulative fatalities now stand at 3,538. On admissions, 1,059 patients are currently admitted in various health facilities, while 6,592 patients are under home-based isolation and care program. 100 patients are in the ICU, 36 of whom are on ventilatory support and 51 on supplemental oxygen. 13 patients are under observation. In the country's county distribution for the top 10, Nairobi is leading with 146 new cases, followed by Busia 92, Siaya 76, Kisumu 51, Mombasa 47, Kericho 39, Kitui 37, Kisii 35, Uasin Gishu 27, Kakamega 26, Nyamira 21, Kilifi 17, Vihiga 16, Nandi 16, among others. The Kenya Film Classification Board CEO Dr. Ezekiel Mutua has raised alarm over the rate at which immorality is being portrayed by Kenyans in the much-hyped and publicized World Rally Championship to be held over the weekend in Naivasha. Speaking during a consultative forum in Nyeri town today, Mutua said that the rally trending under the hashtag Vasha has been turned into Sodom and Gomorrah instead of Kenyans celebrating their culture with the world. Mutua was referring to some related video clips doing rounds on social media questioning how Safari Rally is connected with absurdity and immorality. Mutua called on Kenyans attending the high-octane event to portray a positive image of the country and detest from posting some immoral video clips destroying the image of the Kenyan brand. Former Nyeri First Lady Margaret Karangaru, who was present also and was nominated ambassador, called on young people to behave according to their cultural values instead of being influenced by westernization.
The greatest problem we have in Kenya is the breakdown of our moral values. If we sorted out our morals, kila mtu awe anajiheshimu, kila mtu awe anajua akitenda mema atasifiwa, wanamuziki wataimba nyimbo zake mzuri kusifu mema yake, lakini akitenda mabaya atakashifiwa vile vile na media na pia muziki na sanaa. Then we would bring a sense of right and wrong in society that will go far much, will achieve far much more than using the big stick of the law or the police or spending resources, arresting people, having to take them to court. If people can become self-disciplined, wawe na maadili, wawe na tabia nzuri, then our country would grow. If we sort out the issues of moral values, our children will grow as more responsible citizens. We are going to have less crime. We are going to value hard work, and this country will progress. Hatutaki tutumie sheria kuangamiza creativity. But we also don't want creativity to be used to destroy our children and our moral values. Right now, hata hiyo mambo ya Naivasha, si unaona watu wameanza kuingiza mambo ambayo hayafai. Imekuwa ni kama sasa Naivasha itakuwa Sodom and Gomorrah. A beautiful thing like Safari Rally, which has come to our country for the first time after a long time. Instead of celebrating it, showing these people our culture, showing them our food, showing them our traditions, now we want to use it as the venue and the theater of absurdity and immorality. And you can see the debates going on in social media. I want to urge Kenyans to rethink, because some of the content you are creating now as artists and the media will be consumed by your children.
Hundreds of 2007-2008 post-election violence victims are at risk of eviction from their settlement scheme in Muhu Farm in Nyandarua County following a fierce court battle over unpaid land dues by the government and contempt of court orders. There are 174 internally displaced persons who were uprooted from their homes during the skirmishes in the Rift Valley had been resettled on 2 acres of the vast 523-acre farm in Nyandarua awaiting subdivision. However, they forcibly shared out the land among themselves. With this development, Muhu Holdings Limited, in an application before the Nyahururu Environment and Lands Court, Judge Wanis Agima sought orders to have the settlers evicted from the said land, claiming the land was never sold out. The company is seeking a declaration that the court finds that they are entitled to exclusive and unimpeded right of possession, insisting that they have never sold the property to any party that the defendants are trespassers. Let's go across borders now. Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has accepted a request from the religious leaders to dedicate the nation in prayers following the surge in deaths and new cases of the coronavirus. Museveni earlier today announced that tomorrow, Friday, will be a public holiday and the fourth national prayer session for interdenominational prayers. The country has recorded a total of 74,260 COVID infections and 752 deaths related to the virus since March 2020. Museveni said that in the last 1 month, the number of infections increased by 17-fold and the number of deaths has doubled. The prayers will be held virtually at State House in Entebbe at midday. But the leaders of various religious denominations will lead prayers via Zoom. Further afield, a rescue operation is underway in Miami-Dade County, Florida, after a 12-story residential building partially collapsed, killing at least one person. Rescuers are combing the rubble, searching for any trapped survivors, and were seen pulling a boy out alive. Images from Surfside, north of Miami Beach, show a pile of debris on one side of the building. At least 8 people have been injured. The collapse is said to have occurred at about 2 a.m. It is unclear how many people were inside the building at the time. Togo has operationalized the use of a 50-megawatt solar power plant in a bid to utilize renewable energy. According to media outlets, the facility will offer power to thousands of homes while saving a lot of carbon that's emitted to the atmosphere through non-solar sources. AMEA Power commissioned the 50-megawatt solar photovoltaic plant in Blita, Togo, marking the country's first utility-scale renewable energy project developed by an independent power producer and one of the largest solar PV IPP plants in West Africa. The plant is instrumental in supporting Togo's ambitious $8 billion plan 2018 to 2022 National Development Plan, which aims to achieve universal access to electricity by 2030 and to increase the share of renewables in the energy mix to 50%. The African Union Election Observer Mission has determined that elections in Ethiopia have been up to international standards despite the challenges experienced. Speaking to journalists, the AU Election Observer Team Chief, former Nigeria President Olusegun Obasanjo, commended Ethiopia for holding the sixth national polls in a largely peaceful manner. The AU Ethiopia Election Observer Mission comprises 8 long-term observers and 57 short-term observers. On Monday, Ethiopia held twice postponed general elections in 7 of the 10 regional states, which voters choosing candidates vying for 440 of the 547 parliamentary seats in the East African country. Let us now take our second commercial break on News Watch Tonight. Business and sports news is coming up.
Join John Cousin every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cousin every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning. Good morning.
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the Sweet Hour of Prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live. Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated.
Yes, indeed.
Activate. Every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Welcome back. In business, Plan International and automobile manufacturer Hyundai have today commissioned the Hyundai Dream Center, a modern facility at the National Training Authority Athi River campus fitted with state-of-the-art hybrid and electric car engine simulators that will enhance automobile training in Kenya. The facelift of the facility also includes the renovation of the classes, auto care center, motor vehicle mechanic, and the auto electrics workshop. Done in partnership with the Salvador Citano Kenya organization and funded by Hyundai Motor Company, the Hyundai Dream Center is aimed at enhancing the existing training facility for the automotive industry to modern standards and developing capacity for young men and women with demand-driven entrepreneurship and employability skills in the automotive industry through industrial training.
Over 70% of our people are young, and the labor market is really having a challenge absorbing all these young people. And so this particular project is really dear and special for Plan, and we see it as our contribution to what the government is trying to achieve on employment and skilling our youth, so that when they get out there in the market, they have skills that are needed. It's really nice to see that NGOs, government, private sector combining to really address some of the challenges this country is facing in terms of lack of employment and lack of skills.
We are looking at the needs of the market and then training on the needs of the market. Initially, we used to train thinking of the market, so you find that you're getting graduates who are not even employable.
In line with our President's Big Four agenda, we're also looking at bringing the Hyundai to local assembly. This will contribute to the manufacturing section and will no doubt bring our world-renowned products that come standard with all the exciting features and build quality that is backed by Hyundai's 5-year warranty closer and more affordable to the Kenyan market.
Family Bank bond has raised a 4.42 billion Kenya shillings, marking a subscription of 147.3% against a 3 billion Kenya shillings target, with a green shoe option of 1 billion Kenya shillings in its first stretch of the corporate bond after the public placement. The bank was seeking to raise 4 billion with a minimum subscription of 100,000 or equivalent, with a 5.5-year tenor priced at 13.0% per annum. This issuance comes after the bank successfully redeemed its 5.5 years medium-term note worth 2.0188 billion Kenya shillings on 19th April 2021. The bank raised 4.42 billion, an oversubscription by 47.3% from local fund managers, banks, retail investors, insurance companies, and other institutional investors. Commenting on this, Family Bank's Chief Executive Officer Rebecca Mbithi thanked institutional and individual investors who have believed in the bank and its vision as they seek to increase lending to MSMEs and strengthen their capital base and heavily invest in technology. And in sports, in a curtain raiser, world champion Sebastian Ogier won the opening stage that took place at Moi Sports Center, Kasarani. Ogier, Kale, and Elfin each won their respective heats of the 3-mile stage, but Ogier, who raced and beat Ot Tanak by 2.5 seconds, was quickest of the three by 3 seconds. President Uhuru Kenyatta, Tourism Cabinet Secretary, and Sports Cabinet Secretary were in attendance. KPL continues tomorrow, where Doka's Bandari faces 5th place on the table. Kariobangi Sharks and Batoto Bamungu Sofapaka take on Ulinzi Stars at 3 p.m. Nzoia Sugar will lock horns with City Stars. Nzoia Sugar are at number 14 on the log, which will look for an improved result following their last encounter with Vihiga United, where they lost the match. Other matches will be played at the weekend. German Goretzka rescued his country from lashes as his goal salvaged a 2-2 draw against Hungary in an entertaining encounter. Hungary looked like they would shock the Germans and send them out of the competition after Adams' driving header in the 11th minute opened the scoring. Germany will face England at Wembley this coming Sunday, the 29th. Elsewhere, defending champions Portugal pulled a fantastic comeback to qualify to the last 16, where they will face Belgium. Wales will face Denmark, Italy versus Austria, Netherlands versus Czech Republic, Croatia versus Spain, and France against Switzerland. And it's a wrap for Newswatch tonight. Thank you for your valuable company and watching. My name is Tess Njenga, and my sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. See you tomorrow, same place, same time, God willing. For now, have a good night. God bless you.